Hi guys, and welcome to episode 53.2 of the 72 review. It is the deep dive catch-ups because I was unwell for a couple of episodes. I'm joined once again by Ian. I say once again, we've done it all on the same evening, but shush. If you've not seen the League Two deep dive, which was uploaded yesterday, please go ahead and watch that after this one, and stick around on the channel for the Championship deep dive, which will be uploaded tomorrow morning. If you don't know Ian already, if you're not a regular viewer of the 72 review, which is normally live on a Sunday evening at 6:30, I will introduce him. This is Ian from Over the Bar. Let us know who you are, what you do, and why you do it, mate.
Hello, Army, and I'm 61-year-old Rotherham season ticket holder for me sins. And when the Millers are away, they're not worth watching away from home, by the way. They're just loved every week. I'm around the country vlogging and ground hopping for Over the Bar YouTube channel.
Lovely stuff. Usual normal people who start again. A couple of the usual people who are on the panel can't make it this evening. Lee's at work and Jake is expecting a new addition, so hopefully all's going well with that. So you've just got me and Ian at the minute. Jonathan may be dropping in on this one, is unsure at the minute, but if you've seen the League Two deep dive, you'll know who Jonathan is, so hopefully you can pop in to say a few words on League One. I will put the missed fixtures and the missed results back from the 28th of November. It does feel like a long time since we have done a 72 review, and the Sunday therapy has been sorely missed over the last couple of weeks.
But that's why I'm on suicide watch.
Yeah, these three videos are keeping Ian with us, so hopefully they are decent enough. But yeah, if you watch the League Two deep dive, we're going to do the same with League One. At the start of the season, the 72 review guys put together our predicted table, so we're going to have a look through it. I don't know too much about League One. We always pass over to Nappers, the Fleetwood vlogger, Cod's Vlogs, because he does a wonderful League One focus on a Sunday evening after the 72 review. So I will pass any sort of traffic onto him for this one as well, if you want to know League One in a lot more detail. But it's a 72 review, so we do try to touch upon it wherever we can. So let's get our predictions up, starting with 24th. And we went with Northampton, who have had a fantastic start to league life back in League One. Currently sitting 12th, 8 wins from 20 games, only 10 defeats. A solid start, isn't it?
Very. And keeping Sam Hoskins in the summer was a big boost for them. Brady, the manager there, is doing a good job, and although they are inconsistent, I mean, 12th in the first season after promotion is exceptionally good.
It's whether they can not to shake a stick at, is it?
Whether they can keep it going or not is another matter. So long as they can keep out of the bottom 4 places, I mean, that's got to be the remit at the start of the season, to stay up.
Yeah, I think there is quite a jump from League Two to League One, isn't there?
Yeah, I think they should stay up fairly comfortably, because they've had some really good recent results. Because they were down there at the start of the season, weren't they? They were down in around the bottom end of the table, but they're doing really well at the moment. Hats off to them.
Yeah. On to another promoted team not going so well. Life back in League One for Carlisle. We had them predicted in 23rd. We're not too far off with this one, mate, as a panel. They're currently in 22nd. The inconsistencies that Northampton have got with 8 wins, 2 draws and 10 defeats, Carlisle certainly haven't got, with 6 draws, only 3 wins this season with 11 defeats. It's been a tough old start to League One for them, hasn't it? And almost the worst attack with only 15 goals scored in 20 games.
Yeah,
it's not a great start.
Not looking good. I mean, after promotion, you've got to strengthen. You've got to make your squad stronger for the higher division. And doesn't look like Carlisle have done that. I mean, they've been a bit unlucky with injuries, but going forward, they just look a little bit powderpuff to me, and they're leaky at the back.
Yeah, and it surprised me. Like, we're going forward, they let the fellow go to Tranmere, didn't they? Their top scorer last season. His name escapes me.
Yeah. I think I think our prediction will be not too far off. I
Yeah.
think Carlisle probably will go down, unfortunately for them.
Sorry, Carlisle fans who are watching.
Mm.
Another one where we're not a million miles away. To say that none of us are in League One, and when we put a table together, we predicted 22nd for Cambridge. They had a fairly solid start. It looked like they were doing well this season. 5 wins, 6 draws, but 9 defeats. Sees them currently in 18th and struggling to score goals at the minute, aren't they?
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, with Cambridge, you either get a very good performance or a very poor performance. Just so lately, they've just got rid of Mark Bonner, haven't they, as manager?
Yeah.
And I think they're having a little bit of a bounce because didn't they beat? I think they beat Oxford recently.
I'll have to look at the old.
I know they had a good. I know they had a
picking
good
across the
result.
bottom.
I think they had a good result against one of the fancied teams. I can't remember whether it were.
They got beat 3-0 to Lincoln.
Yeah. Oh, Lincoln. Yeah. Yeah.
No, they got beat at Lincoln.
So really, I mean, they're in there fighting. They're in with a fighting chance. Have they got enough? Yeah, probably. I think they have.
Yeah.
I think they'll stay up. Probably by the skin of their teeth, but I think they'll stay up.
I think it's just so tough in League One with 4 teams going down, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Yeah. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah. Onto a team which has surprised me this season, and I think surprised the rest of the 72 review lads. We had them down in 21st, and that's Shrewsbury Town. Currently in 11th, but how they're in 11th, I don't quite know. They've scored 13 goals all season and managed to win 8 and draw 3. So it's a little bit like Gillingham in League Two, where they're winning games by the narrowest margin. And
well, again, in his last review, in his League Two review, you said that Accrington Stanley screamed League One. Well, so does Shrewsbury Town.
Yeah.
They've been in League One forever.
Yeah.
And they'll probably stay there as well. They'll probably bore teams into submission. But yeah, I mean, credit to them. They're there on merit. They're 11th place on merit.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can stop the opposition scoring and you can nick one, you've got a damn good chance.
Yeah.
Although I don't think I'd like to be a season ticket holder.
No, it doesn't sound like the most entertaining a place to be. But like you say, stop teams from scoring, and you've got a chance of nicking 3 points, haven't you?
Oh yeah, of course you have.
Onto another team that we thought would be struggling in Cheltenham. We thought the loss of Alfie May would be massive, and we've been proven right so far. Struggling for goals, they've got the worst attack in the division with only 11 goals scored in 19 games, 3 wins, 4 draws.
Weren't they the last EFL team to actually score a league goal?
I think they were. They went about
after about 10 or 11 games or something like that, weren't it?
Yeah, so many games. I think they just avoided setting the record, if I remember rightly. But
I think they're doomed.
Yeah,
I honestly don't think they're doomed.
Very poor
Unfortunately,
start,
Cheltenham fans, but results speak for themselves. They've picked up a little bit lately.
Yeah,
they've had 1 or 2 decent results, but has it come too late? Probably so.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. On to Port Vale. So I think I was quite a big driver for the 19th prediction on this one, because I saw them. I think it was our final pre-season game, and I thought Doncaster looked really good, and Port Vale just looked really poor. And then they got absolutely smacked. First game of the season, I think, was it 6-0 at Barnsley?
7-0 at Barnsley.
7-0 at Barnsley. Well, then after that, it kind of just flipped for them and went on a really good run of games where they were unbeaten for a while. But it just seemed to have kind of reverted back to what I expected this season, and currently sitting 17th. Probably enough to avoid the drop, but not a great season for them so far.
No, I think they've got one of the best midfielders in the division, attacking midfielders in Garrity, who scores a lot of goals.
Yeah.
But actual striking-wise, not very good. But yeah, I think they've got enough. I think they've got enough to survive.
Yeah, like I say, just lacking goals, only 15 all season, which is not great, is it? On to our 18th placed position in Wigan. We thought that the was it 8-point deduction at the start of the season?
Yeah.
We thought that would hinder them massively, but they shot out like a rocket, didn't they? They're currently on 23 points, so they'd be much higher up the table had the deduction not come. But yeah, the start, like I say, they started like a rocket, but then it seemed to hit a brick wall. Stutter a little bit, but they seem to be back on the feet and hitting form again. 14th in the table at the minute.
Sean Malone is showing what a good manager he is. The squad is very strong. Callum Lang, Charlie White coming back from injury. They're a good side. They're a very good side. The 8-point deduction is obviously going to hinder any promotion bid, but I think 14th, I can see them going higher than that. Probably top 10.
Yeah, I mean, if the get my teeth in, if the deduction wasn't in play, they'd be on 31 points, which would put them in 9th, 10th place. So yeah, I think that's probably where they'll finish up come the end of the season.
Yeah.
Now, we mentioned Barrow in League Two as the surprise package of League Two. Stevenage, for me, are the surprise package of League One. We unanimously thought that they'd struggle, or kind of bloody some noses, but not really do what they're doing at the minute, and that is an absolute unreal feat. Currently sat in 3rd with 11 wins, 6 draws, and only 4 defeats from their opening 21 games this season.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, Ian, you mentioned before we started recording about the Rotherham managerial position. Steve Evans was linked with it, and you said that you'd have jumped out your window. Seeing Stephen, would you take him back?
No, absolutely not. There's too much bad blood there. But having said that, as a manager, you can't argue with his record in the lower leagues.
Serial winner, mate.
He makes his teams horrible to play against.
Mm-hmm.
The physical, the combative, but he's got Stevenage scoring goals for fun. I actually expected, once they've lost a couple, for them to really fall away, but they've come back with a vengeance and even stronger. It's a really small club, is Stevenage, not very well supported in comparison to other League One clubs, but they're doing absolutely superb.
Yeah.
Just brilliant. Take me hat off to you. I love to see the smaller clubs really challenging towards the top end of the leagues, and Stevenage have done a fantastic job.
Yeah, same with Barrow in League Two and Stevenage in League One. Like I say, it's minnows playing with the big boys, isn't it? It's great to see.
I mean, can you imagine Stevenage in the second tier in the Championship?
No, I think it'd be a very difficult season for them.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I know all about that.
On to Burton Albion. We had them as a solid kind of mid to lower mid-table team in 16th. Underperforming compared to where we had them. Currently sitting 19th with 20 points. It's just a bit of an inconsistent start, isn't it? 5 wins, 5 draws, 10 defeats. I don't know. It's just very Burton.
It is very Burton, but I think they could fall further. They've just sacked Dino Momria as manager. The form, they started poorly, picked up quite a lot actually.
Yeah.
They've fallen back again now, and really they're not playing at all well. I mean, frequent Twitterer Ed Walker's a Brewers fan, and he fears for them this season, and I really think that they could go down.
Yeah, they're only 2 places above the drop at the minute, aren't they?
Yeah.
Who is just trying to have a look at the table? I'll find it. But yeah, like you say, there is real potential of them dropping lower in the table.
Yeah.
Not a bad prediction on this one from us. Predicted Leighton Orient in 15th. We expected them. They ran away with League Two last season. We thought, did they? They were at one point, weren't they?
Yeah, they were champions, weren't they?
Yeah, but I think there were at one point where they looked like they were going to win champions like real early on, and then Stevenage kind of pulled them back a little. But we thought that they'd just carry that on and have a really solid season, and it's showing that with the 16th place at the minute. It's fully expected from Richie Wellens. I think could probably look at adding a little bit more quality and a little bit more squad depth in January to push on a little bit further and look on to next season. But yeah, solid start to League One football for Leyton Orient.
I thought they'd be all right from the get go. I thought they'd be solid.
Yeah.
And all right, bottom half, but a solid season, and they'll survive comfortably.
Yeah. And this is the team that I was looking for and I couldn't find. Fleetwood currently occupy the final relegation spot in 21st on 16 points. Burton are on 20, so there's only 4 points between those two places. So serious concerns about them dropping further down. But with the way Fleetwood are playing at the minute, I can't see them pulling up any trees. I mean, I watch Nappers quite a lot, Cods Vlogs.
Oh, yeah.
I recommend anybody going and watching him. He's a fantastic YouTuber, fantastic content creator. And the way that he continues to be so balanced and so fair in his opinions and his assessment of games when his team are just underperforming is commendable. And
I mean, I saw the one he did at Derby in the Papa John's or whatever they call it now, and they lost 3-0. And yeah, he expected it. He were okay about it, but it's the league form. The league form is absolutely atrocious at the moment.
I'm just looking at the fixtures going across the bottom, and it looks like they've been beat 3-0 2 games running. So
yeah, and they're not. If you're not scoring and you're conceding goals, there's only one way you're headed.
Yeah, and
unfortunately, I think it might be Fleetwood's time for the Captain Pugwash goal celebration. I wonder if that still works, because it's ages since the last scored.
Having said that, though, we're not getting out of League Two this year, so I hope Fleetwood survive.
Yeah.
Because I can't be doing with hearing that next season.
I don't wish relegation on anybody. No. Well, I do, but not not in this league.
No, certainly not. Another one spot on. I am surprised with how many we've got right so far mid-season, and it was Bristol Rovers. We expected a mid-table finish. If it stays like this, we are spot on. 13th place. Just a very inconsistent season. 6 wins, 7 draws, 6 defeats, 25 goals scored, 24 conceded.
It's about as mid-table as it's possible to get, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
I would like to say, good luck to Matt Taylor, that's just taken the reins up there. He did a very good job in keeping Rotherham in the Championship last season, and he deserves another crack at a good job. I think he'll do well at Bristol Rovers. I think he's going to take time for him to put his ideas across. But he's a good coach, and he deserves another crack at him. So good luck to him.
Yeah, certainly. Let's move on from Bristol Rovers before we start talking about a certain Mr. Joey Barton, because that could go on for some time. Moving on to Oxford, we had them down in 12th. They had a difficult season last season. Really underperformed in a team that we always expect to be kind of fighting in and around the playoffs, and really struggled last season. So we had them mid-table this season, but they're back to kind of where you'd expect Oxford United to be, and that is 6th in the table, fighting towards the top end. They're doing okay. They're not pulling up too many trees. 11 wins from 19 is decent, but only 3 draws, 5 defeats. Scoring plenty of goals, 31 goals scored, only 21 conceded. They've got enough, haven't they, to break that top 6 again?
They'll be in the mix, without a doubt. They'll be in the mix. I would say probably not automatic, but definitely playoffs. Good side, very good going forward. They've kept hold of Brannigan, who to me is one of the League One's outstanding performers. So yeah, I would say playoffs.
Yeah. Moving on to Exeter, one that we expected to be doing much better than what they are, and another team which will be looking over the shoulder at the results in the bottom 4. We had them down for 11th, but they're currently in 20th. It's just not quite been their season so far. with the same record as Oxford, but flip it, only 5 wins, 3 draws and 11 defeats. Really poor going forward, which is their Achilles heel at the minute. Only 12 goals scored in 19 games, but 30 conceded. It's been a tough start to the season for Exeter.
They had a fairly good start, a fairly decent start to the season, but they've just fallen off a cliff at the moment. And I'm surprised that Gary Caldwell is still there as manager. Although Exeter do give their managers time, they're not a hire and fire managerial setup down there. But it does look a little bit hairy for them. And I think they're going to be in a relegation fight probably for the rest of the season. Whether they survive is anybody's guess.
Buckle in, Exeter fans. It is going to be a bumpy ride. ATID will be buzzing at this section of this video.
Yeah, really imagine so.
Another team where we're not too far off, not a million miles. I think
we're not doing bad, are we?
No, we're all right. I think for me, when I'm doing a table prediction, I think if you're within 3 places, you've done really well. And we're not far off on a lot of these. We've had some stinkers, don't get me wrong, but we've not been too bad across the board. Lincoln, we expected a solid 10th place finish, but they're doing slightly better. They're in 9th at the minute. It's another one of those teams where you look at what the stats, and it's very middle of the road, but they've got points on the board: 8 wins, 7 draws, 6 defeats. So 31 points from 21 games. I think they'll be happy with that. They're in with a shout of playoffs.
I'm going to watch Lincoln this weekend. They're playing Reading, and I'm going to Sincil Bank, so there'll be a vlog out from that. Lincoln are a good side. They're a good side. It's a good, solid League One side. They might have realistic playoff ambitions, but they'll be nowhere near the bottom. They're just nice. They play nice football, good to watch. Inconsistent, definitely inconsistent. And if they can improve that, you never know. They might have a shot at the playoffs. But a decent side, definitely.
For me, I think Lincoln have really found their level. I think probably Championship is too high. I think they're far too good.
Top end League One,
Yeah, I think they're a solid League One team. Talking about a good League One team, we pushed them all the way in the FA Cup, which I'm very proud about. I think the 4th in the table, but the free scoring, they've scored 40 goals this season, and we managed to keep them to 2 goals and bloodied their nose as well, and almost took a draw from it and got a replay in the FA Cup. So I think from a personal perspective as a Rovers fan, we've gone to Hull City this season and come away with a win. We've gone to Peterborough and almost come away with something. We went to Accrington in the Cup, where we never win, and we've won. So from a personal perspective, I'm quite happy. But on to League One, and we had them in 9th, but Darren Ferguson seems to be making them tick. It's scoring plenty of goals. In terms of conceding, they've only conceded 20, so they're keeping it tight at the back as well. At the minute, though, there's just 3 teams that are slightly better than them this season. One of them being Stevenage, and we've not come to the other 2 yet. But for me, I think Peterborough have got the squad, the manager, the setup to go the distance this season and really push that top 3 and potentially get into the top 2.
They've got the manager that's been there and done it before with the same club. They've got a strike force which would be the envy of any League One side, if not Championship. Midfield are strong. They've tightened up at the back. They are going to be close. They're going to be really, really close.
Yeah, it's a good recipe at the minute for them, isn't it? On to our 8th prediction. This is one of our stinkers, really. We thought Wycombe would do well, and they've just not quite hit the heights that we expected. Really inconsistent. 6 wins, 4 draws, 9 defeats, and just a bit of a stop-start season for them, isn't it? Do you think there's a hangover from Ainsworth leaving?
I think there's been a massive Gareth Ainsworth hangover. I mean, they had what you might term as their glory years under Ainsworth, promotion and competing fairly well in the Championship, even though they did get relegated. But massive hangover. I expected them to be higher than they are. It just doesn't look like it's clicking under this manager. But I don't think they'll be in any danger of going down.
No,
I think bottom half will be a disappointing result for them.
I mean, they're on 22 points and sixth on 36, so there is a gap between them and playoffs. But
yeah,
you look at Fleetwood on 16 points. They want to be careful not to get dragged into it. But like you say, I think they're probably too good to get dragged into it. But football's a funny old game, isn't it?
Well, they've still got a good strike force in McCleary and Vokes.
Yeah, they have indeed. This is another one of our stinkers. We went with 7th for Reading. We thought dropping down from the Championship, they'd have enough about them to be up there or thereabouts, but they've done the total opposite, haven't they? I know they've had 4 points deducted, but you look at Wigan, who had 8. They've kind of adapted. They've addressed it and they've pushed on. Reading is just a circus.
I don't think the off-field shenanigans has helped at all with Reading. I mean, you're getting protests at every game now, tennis ball protests, this, that, the other. The team is low on confidence.
Yeah.
Brittle, conceding goals right, left and centre. I think it might be Reading might fall back into the bottom tier, and I think that's a strong possibility.
I think if they do, mate, I think that could be the end of Reading Football Club.
It could be, yeah.
I think the stadium size and everything about them, it'd be very tough to pull them back. It'd be similar to when Bolton dropped that low. I think they'd be teetering on the edge, which we don't want to see.
Bolton now.
Yeah. There's always hope that it will turn around. But I would worry for Reading if they did drop down to League Two this season. But it's looking more and more likely as the season goes on. Currently in 23rd. On to a bit more positive. A South Yorkshire club doing well. Which is unheard of.
One place out again.
Yeah, we'll take it in. We will certainly take it. I think Barnsley have got enough about them. With Devante Cole, I think he's a totally different striker to what I saw in Doncaster. But I think once he's ticking and running, he's unplayable. But yeah, we had them down as 6th. We thought there might be a bit of a hangover from the playoff defeat against Sheffield Wednesday last season, and they started really well. But there has been a couple of results where it's been a bit questionable, and it's dropped them down to 7th place. But there's a lot of football to be played, and I think they will play it and get in the top 6.
I think you do mention Cole's goals, which are the integral part of how when Barnsley are doing well. But I think Barnsley's real strength is midfield. They've got a fantastic midfield. They play some fantastic football.
Yeah.
I think they've tightened up a little bit at the back since they had that sort of like 3 or 4 game wobble.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can see them. I can easily see them making playoffs. Easily see them. Yeah, just got a little bit more consistent.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Blackpool are the best placed team to come down, I believe.
Yeah.
It was. Who came down? Wigan, Reading, and Blackpool, was it last season?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So yeah, Blackpool certainly doing the better of the 3 relegated teams, but you'd expect that with them being a lot more stable off field than what those 2 teams are. And we predicted them for a 5th place finish. We thought they'd have enough in the squad to bounce straight back, and they're not a million miles away. They're currently in 8th.
They're not a million miles away. Good side, really good side. I mean, and Jordan Rhodes going there. I mean, he's about 137, but he's still knocking the goals in. I mean, you've got to take your hat off to a striker like that that's been doing it for donkey's years.
Yeah.
And he's still scoring goals now. But yeah, a very solid side. I like Kenny Dougal. I think he's a good midfield player. Critchley going back, obviously, has made a big positive difference.
Always reminds me of Magic Roundabout, Dougal.
Yeah. But yeah, they'll be around there. They'll be around the playoff places. Yeah.
Certainly will. On to Portsmouth, currently leading the way in League One. 42 points. They've only been beaten once this season, which is incredible. We say week in, week out on the 72 review that at some point the wheels will fall off and Portsmouth will do Portsmouth and just fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
But it's not happening, is it?
We were talking about Mansfield in League Two being the eternal bridesmaids, but Portsmouth are the League One.
Yeah, this is the League One version.
I don't think so this time, though. I think this time they'll make it. I think this time they will go up.
Yeah.
I saw them at Barnsley around about the beginning of October, and they were 3-0 up in 29 minutes. They played some absolutely scintillating stuff. They got pegged back to 3-2 because Barnsley played well in the second half. But yeah, there's a side there. There's definitely a team there.
Yeah.
They're good. I would say they're deservedly top of the league.
Yeah, they may not be top of the league once we've finished this recording, though, and by the time it goes live on the channel, because it's a very important game tonight.
Oh, yeah, they're playing Bolton, aren't they?
Yeah, Bolton and Portsmouth. So we're keeping a close eye on that because that will be a massive result at the top of League One. On to third, we went with Charlton. We just thought, I don't know what we were thinking with this, to be fair. Do you, Ian?
Well, to be honest with you, I can't even remember predicting Charlton that high. They're a decent side. They're a solid side. They're a top 10 side. They've got Alfie May. But I
think that might have been why we put them so high. The goals of Alfie May could have potentially catapulted
the league goals on a regular basis. The lose games that they're expected to win. Like I said, they're solid League One outfit. They'll never be in any trouble of going down. But I think the step up to the Championship might be a little bit too soon for them.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I said mid-table at best.
Yeah. We're spot on.
Wow.
It's almost like we know what we're on about, Ian. Or we're just very good at guessing. Bolton, I think we might be one out come the end of the season with this one, though. I think Bolton will be champions.
Really?
From what I've seen of them. Really
I think Pompey.
Ooh.
But
no.
They're a fine team. They're a great team. Ian Everts got the best team in League One, being the second best team in League One. I've not forgotten that quote, by the way.
He just needs to keep quiet this season. I think if he keeps quiet, Bolton will do it. I really do.
I think they'll do it anyway. The strike force is frightening.
Yeah.
I mean, what a pickup that were. They're just playing some fantastic football. What a pickup Dion Charles were from Accrington.
Yeah.
They've added some steel in the defence as well, which helps. And I think they've got the best centre half in League One, in that Santos.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
I just think they look solid, mate, as a team, don't they? Look really good.
Yeah, they do. They look Championship quality already.
Yeah. You know your mate Fogden will only be there when they're getting the trophy.
Of course he will. He'll probably. Yeah. Oh, don't. You don't want me swearing, do you?
I can edit it out. We're recording.
All right. Yeah.
Onto our first place prediction. We thought the Paul Warne effect would have come into effect with Derby, but I mean it has, but it hasn't. We talk about Derby so often. Yeah,
I think it's starting to. I mean, they had a round about October time. They had a massive wobble, and there were Derby fans calling for his head and everything.
But I find it really strange because they've got the joint best defence with Portsmouth, conceding only 16 all season. And like we said,
you see, I think they've got one of the best defenders in League One in that Cashin or however you want to pronounce it. Brilliant player. Going forward, look at the squad. It's exceptional.
Yeah.
All right, there might be aging. Collins, Barkhausen might be aging, but they score goals. They've got Mendes Lang. They've just got quality in every area. Hurahan.
I think that's the difference, though, isn't it? You look at, you mentioned Portsmouth. The play scintillating football. It's quick. It's the zip the passes around. Maybe the fact that Derby's got this aging squad, you can't substitute experience. I think once you've got experienced players, you're already halfway to winning a game. But if you've got too many experienced players where the legs quite, I'm not going to say the legs have gone, because they certainly haven't. But if you've got a couple of young whippersnappers running around with experienced heads around them, guiding them, I think you've got a really good,
They've
kind
got
of.
Sibley's only young.
Yeah.
They've got 1 or 2 more young lads coming through the ranks. They're looking really good.
Yeah.
They've got I think it might be a 3-way fight between Pompey, Bolton, and Derby, because I can see Derby going higher than 5th.
Yeah, I mean the 5th on 36 points, Bolton are in 2nd on 39, so it's very tight
there's
up
nothing
there.
in it.
No, nothing in it at all. So maybe the Paul Warne effect is in effect at Derby. We will see come the end of the season. And that brings us to the end of our League One deep dive. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please stick a big thumbs up on it. If you haven't seen the League Two deep dive from yesterday, please go ahead and check that out. I will link it on the screen. And also stick around on the channel for tomorrow morning's Championship deep dive, which we are going to record next. And hopefully get us all caught up, ready for the next live stream on Sunday evening at 6:30. Big thank you to Ian for joining me on this one and talking League One. I think looking at it, we're not too far off with our predictions. So
I don't think we did badly at all, really.
Yeah, across all divisions at the minute, we're not a million miles away. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that pans out towards the end of the season. So please head over to Over the Bar and subscribe to them for Ian's match day vlogs and things. Superb content coming from him. Subscribe to me if you haven't already. And all that's left for me to say is thank you for watching this one, and we will see you in the next one.